Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We're Screwed. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr. With me, as always, old boy James Ash, and we are joined tonight by a special guest, our good buddy Marcus Koch. He is a director, a special effects guy. He used to be known as the Guru of Gore. I don't know if he's still known as that or if he runs away from that title. I don't know. Some of those titles get a little embarrassing sometimes for people. You know, they're like, no, shit, don't call me that, man. But anyway, he's a director, special effects guy, painter, artist, all kinds of shit. So I want to welcome you to the show, Marcus. And since you are our guest, what we're going to do tonight, normally we have topics, we go for a certain amount of time, all that kind of stuff. Tonight, no rules. No holds barred, unscripted, completely, no topics, no nothing. So basically, Marcus, the floor is yours, brother. What do you want to talk about?
Oh shit! I don't know. Where should we start? Some fucked up film I just got off of. We could start there. And this could lead into other topics. Okay, so I just last week I wrapped on a film called Relentless, and it's pretty fucking dark, dirty, mean, vicious, violent. It's fucked up. So I don't know how this guy's gonna direct or release his film. I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to release it, maybe other than On Earth Films, because it's really fucked up, and he's gonna broach some fucking conspiracy type topics in the film, if you want to go that route. So it's called Relentless. Now, if you were to go type in relentless.com, I don't know if either one of you can do this right now, but go type in relentless.com and see what pulls up, and then I'll explain.
Just so the audience knows, I am looking up relentless.com right now on the phone. For some reason, it took me to Amazon. I don't think that was supposed to happen. I think I might have fucked that up.
That is exactly what is supposed to happen.
So it takes you to Amazon?
Yes.
That's very weird. Why does it take you to Amazon?
Yes. Okay, so he cannot get relentless.com because it's already taken by Amazon. Jeff Bezos, before he had Amazon.com, he really wanted to call his company Relentless.com. So that's where this story starts.
That's very strange. Why did he want to call it Relentless.com?
I don't know. Why Relentless? That sounds mean. If you're trying to do something like Amazon is so benign, I guess, but relentless. But Elon Musk wanted to have his own service called X, and then he took over Twitter and changed Twitter to X, to something he was trying to make into a business 15 years ago that never happened. So same thing with Bezos. Before Amazon.com became a thing, he wanted his company to be called Relentless. And so he owns Relentless. Wild, right? Okay.
So what conspiracy topics is the movie about? What does it cover?
It's coming from someone who doesn't really go down too many rabbit holes that we go down. But he does get into the rich eating babies. The ultra rich elite eating babies. So, yeah. So the film crosses into that territory.
Yeah, that's something we talked about on Staring before. We actually got shadow banned on YouTube for talking about that on Staring.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, but that's the plot of the movie, is rich people having a party where they're interrupted by people who are like burglars, burgling the place, whatever burglars do. But then they're kind of mixed into this like, ultra elite rich people who are having a dinner of a baby, and shit goes sideways. So that's a very, without giving anything away, that's kind of like the basic plot. Maybe I just spoiled it. Oh fuck, I think I spoiled the movie. Shit, because I don't think it doesn't go that way until the very end. You don't know that. Anyway, I'm a terrible.
You do now.
Whoops, spoiler alert.
Everybody knows now.
Played by fucking oh shit, what's his name?
Well, I hope your director doesn't kick your ass for giving the plot away.
Yeah, as you do, whatever. I just spoiled the whole fucking movie. Yeah.
I can definitely see why he'd be worried about distribution. Because I can't see too many major companies that would be wanting to put out a movie about eating babies.
Oh, no. Stephen Biro would.
So people know who Stephen Biro is. He's the owner and the owner of Unearthed Films. It releases extreme movies, extreme gore, extreme horror, controversial movies, and movies are like super low budget. Movies like Gutterball, the original Guinea Pig movies in Japan, and people, Marcus and Steven are the producers of the American Guinea Pig series. That's what they're well known from. In 101 Tears, Marcus directed that movie. And these are very extreme. So people know that. And Marcus is working on another extreme movie he just gave the end plot to. But other than that, what the movie's going to be is very controversial. And he's probably right. There's not going to be a lot of people. But like we were talking about earlier, is Cross is going to come out. And if you guys read the comic books from Cross, you want to talk about anything you can imagine, it's going to be in this movie. Sadness was a ripoff of that. Coming to find out, that's where they got the idea. And what that movie is I think it was Taiwanese. It's a version of what Cross would have been, but Cross is going to be 100 times worse. But it's pretty, because Sadness is pretty fucked up. Yeah, go ahead.
Behind Crossed, if this all comes to fruition, are the people the same company behind The Boys? And The Boys is so fucking good. It's gory as fuck. It's fucked up as fuck. So if the same people can do Crossed justice, that'd be awesome. Because that's a fucked up comic. That's one of the ones that are unfilmable.
Now, for somebody like me, right? I've never read the comic Cross, so I'm not familiar with what it's about or what themes it covers or what kind of stuff happens in it. And I'm sure that there's people listening right now who also have no idea what we're talking about. So, if you or old boy, either one who wants to, can kind of give us a synopsis of that.
Oh, it goes a lot of places. So, it's I don't even want to attempt to give a synopsis. It's just fucked up, and all kinds are wrong. And yeah, if you've seen The Sadness is like these zombies get horny and fucking just want to fuck people to death. That's kind of in Cross. That's part of it. So we'll see. Have you seen The Boys?
What's that?
Have you seen any episodes of The Boys?
No, I'm actually waiting for that to get a lot more done. A lot more episodes, a lot more seasons, all that stuff done before I watch it. Because I was a big Supernatural fan. I loved Supernatural. And The Boys is the one that Dean from Supernatural is in, right? On Amazon? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, no, I don't think that's the same. No.
The Boys is on Amazon. Yes, I watch it all the time. It's and next month is next season's going to be at the end of it after 5 seasons. And the guy from Boys is going to do Cross, and I don't know how he's going to do it. Just so people know, Marcus, mute your mic. Um, so people know is that Cross is a fucked up comic book to the point where I don't know how they're going to do this. And I'm figuring they're also saying a TV show, and that's probably what they're going to end up doing. If you watch The Boys is about superheroes. So just imagine the Avengers, but they're assholes. And they do all kinds of fucked up shit. And you think they're heroes, but Homelander, who's the main guy, he's the Superman. He's not. He's a piece of shit. And the government's been making these superheroes, and it gets into these storylines, and it's a very the comic book's crazy, but the show's pretty violent and gory, but the comic book's a lot worse. But Cross is another Sadness is going to be it was bad. Cross is even worse. So just imagine a disease where it puts a cross across your face. And what it does is you, instead of eating people, you want to totally destroy them in every fucked up way you can imagine. Like the new comic book, they did a new season. It's called, I think it's about the coward. It's about this guy. It's a coward. So what happens is he gets bullied and stuff like that. And I was reading a little bit about the comic books, and this guy was talking about it. And Yellow Belly, that was what it's called because it's off the series of it. And this kid, they're at the like a fairgrounds, and all of a sudden, all shit breaks loose. And like his dad hides the brother and him in like a trash can and puts over the lid. And the dad starts fighting off, and they rape the dad to death and kill him. And then they grab his brother, and they didn't see him. So they do every imaginable crazy ass shit you can imagine, and in the horrible ways they do it. It's everything you can imagine, but worse. And top of this, there's a serial killer. It's in this that pretends to be one of the heroes, but he's even worse than the Cross or on the same level as what he does, because he pretends to be your friend and he really kills you. He's in the original series. And they find him, and he finds this kid and starts talking to him, and then he tells him the crazy shit he does. And I'm telling you, I don't know how they're going to get away with Cross, because they kill people in the most horrible ways you can think of. It's on the level of probably everything you can imagine and worse. And I really don't know how they're going to get away with this, because Cross is a fucked up comic book. Everything you can imagine's in it. Ripping people apart, eating people, rape, anything, and in violent ways. It isn't what you think. It's absolutely all in there. And it's a comic book, so graphic novel. I don't want to say comic book, graphic novel. Violent to the point where it's like you can't even buy the comic book unless you're 18 or over. And like it's bad. Like there's nothing good to say. Like the story's crazy, but it's going to be a crazy movie or show. I think they're going to go anime, because that's the only way I think you can get away with it. Because a movie or a TV show is going to be too. I know right off the bat they're going to try to ban it. They're going to try to ban this movie. I already heard they're already bitching about it, making a big deal about it. Now I think they're going to probably go anime, is what I've been hearing. I don't know who's going to carry it, because it's worse than some of the stuff Marcus has made, and that's saying a lot. And that the comic book's probably on the lines of some of the worst killings and murders and disgusting things you can ever think of, and violence in this comic book. And I really don't know how they're going to do it, but it's going to be awesome to me, because I like dark things. I like violence like that. I like extreme horror movies. Terrifier 3 is coming out in October, and what I've heard is from the first scene of the 10 minutes, the guy who plays the clown, Thornton, he actually threw up making this part. He said it's probably the worst. And this guy's played in some crazy movies. And he said that he plays Art the Clown. He said he had to stop making those because the first 10 movies, 10 minutes are supposed to go there. It's supposed to go to the point where I don't know how they're going to get away with playing it in the movie theater. I just don't. If you guys seen the second one, Terrifier 2 and 1, or I love Art the Clown, but they're going to go even more than 2. And what I've read is the first 10, 15 minutes are going to be on that level of crossed. So if that's where they're going, what else? Because I know they're going to make a Terrifier 4, and that's supposed to be even worse. I don't know. Like, there isn't any more levels you can go to. I'm just going to be honest. Like, there's movies out there that I won't watch because they have real killings in it. These are going to be on that level, other than the fact it's not real killings, because they're going to just show what happened in to some of these movies. Just like a movie we were talking about a couple days ago, and Marcus told me about these fucking people. And to make this movie, what they did is getting onto extremes, and I'll just leave it at that. It's called, yeah. I don't want to give the name. We're not going to do it, but the guy uses parts from people who are really getting murdered, but the reason why he got away with it is he showed it on another TV, like you're seeing it on TV, on a TV. So you're allowed to get away with it, and he shows like people getting cut in half and real. These are real killings, and cats getting murdered, and it's the famous cat killings, and where the lady stepped on them and she got her ass killed almost because of that. They found out where she lived and beat her almost to death over that shit. And that's what he put in his movie. And that's not all. He took stuff from that movie and reenacted some of the stuff. It was people, how they got murdered. It wasn't good, bro. It wasn't good at all. It's really up there. It's probably one of the most disturbing movies made right now on that level. Of other than there, what's that one? Somebody the most evil man alive. That's supposed to be the most disturbing movie ever made. That's what I'm reading on the. There's a list, okay, guys. So I'm in of the iceberg. It's at the end of the iceberg.
What's this?
The most I think it was either the most sickest, most evilest man alive.
Oh, MD.
Everything you can imagine. Like it's like supposed to be real. Yeah.
Yeah, most disturbed person on planet Earth, MD Pope.
Yes, that movie I've heard a lot about. It's on that level.
Any of that? No. Don't watch any of that.
I don't understand.
Never watched those movies.
I don't understand the trend of gore for gore's sake, or shocking just to be shocking. You know what I mean? I don't know why people would find those movies interesting or fun to watch. You know, like you're talking about Terrifier, dude. I went and bought the first Terrifier because old boy was going on and on and on about Art the Clown and Terrifier, Art the Clown and Terrifier. Oh, you got to see it. You got to see it. It's one of the worst damn movies I ever seen, man. It's absolute fucking garbage. Yes, it's got a lot of gory crap in it, but it sucks. The storyline sucks. The acting sucks. It's not fun to watch, you know. And it's like, I don't like gore for gore's sake. I don't mind gore. You make it as gory as you want. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I especially like the old school physical effects more than like the CGI generated stuff they do now. You know, it's more fun for me. But make it interesting. Make it have a good storyline so it's fun to watch and you get into it. You know, I don't like all these movies that they say, oh, this is the most disgusting thing ever made. This is most horrifying. Oh, you'll throw up. People ran out of the theater throwing up and all that bullshit you hear, all that hype bullshit. All those movies blow, man. Every time you watch one of them, it's always absolute crap. Every single fucking time. And it sucks, man. It's like, just make good movies. Make a movie with a good storyline. You can make it as gory as you want. You can put incest in it. You can put bestiality in it. You can put any fucked up gross shit you want to put in it. I don't give a damn. But have a good storyline. That's my only caveat.
The funny thing about the Terrifier films is, like, yeah, there's been killer clown films way long ago. Like, that's been a thing. Gory killer clown films, maybe not so much. But there was this film, I don't know, that came out maybe 5-10 years before Terrifier. called 100 Tears. Y'all seen that one?
Yeah, something tells me we might have heard tell of the guy who did that.
I think 100 Tears has a bigger body count than Terrifier. A black and white clown splattered in blood who never speaks dispatches a whole bunch of people. I don't know. That's 100 Tears. I don't know. Maybe I've seen this movie before.
Remember, Terrifier was only on a budget of $10,000, the first one, and made over $1 million. Terrifier 2 only had a budget of $750,000 and made $13.3 million, and only played in so many theaters. Remember that, though. Terrifier, but 100 Tears was awesome. Don't get me wrong. It was a little bit different movie, because Art the Clown, your guy just goes and that movie's great. He butchers people. But Art the Clown does it in a fucked up mind way. It's a little bit different, bro. And that's why people like it. The first, and you got to realize, it wasn't, Terrifier isn't the first movie. All Halloween Eve is when they first brought out the Terrifier in the first 15-minute short film. Terrifier is the first movie, and this is where Marcus does appreciate Terrifier, of his genre to become in a massive motion pictures. Part 3 is going to be played everywhere. That never happens with low budget movies. Well, it's not going to be anymore. He got a budget of $15 million. But the second one was a very low budget because you guys got offered to do it, some of the money on it.
That's a red herring, bro. That is a complete red herring. First Friday 13th.
Explain it to him, Marcus, where that comes, why it's a big deal.
Hold on. First Friday 13th movie, tiny ass budget. First Nightmare on Elm Street movie, tiny ass budget. The first Halloween, tiny ass budget.
They had over $1 million on all those budgets, and I can bring it up. I can tell you that right now. They didn't have the budget. They still had a bigger budget than in Terrifier.
Low
and
budget
Marcus will tell you.
Shitty movie though. That's what I'm saying.
But you got, and I agree, because the first one was shitty. The second one, if you haven't seen it, is actually way better because he had a better budget. But for what it was, for the budget, just like Marcus, 101 Tears, it was not a big budget, and it was a great movie. Halloween was good, but remember they took Captain Kirk's mask and melted it to make it Michael Myers' mask. A lot of people don't know that, but that was a good movie. I'm a Halloween fan. Now, we don't want to get into fucking Rob Zombie's bullshit. I don't even want to go there because James actually likes that piece of shit movie, and I have an opinion on that because the fucking dude said he wasn't ever going to make it, and he did anyway because he couldn't make Chainsaw Massacre. So you know what? Like I said, and the second one was just straight garbage. It made no fucking sense. The first one, actually watching, it's not horrible. It isn't better than the first. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I absolutely do not like that movie. I don't like anything about it. I don't care. And he had a big budget. And because one, the Rob Zombie would have been good. Don't get me wrong. It would have been good. But he just fucking had to throw his wife in it. And there's what the problem is. I can't stand her, dude. And that's just my opinion. Part 2 was even stupider. Him running around as a bum, killing people in the gas station was ridiculous. And I don't care what anybody says. James likes that movie because he's a Rob Zombie fan, because Rob Zombie gave him money. So that's, of course, he's not going to say nothing about it, and he knows I'm right. And a lot of people don't realize is Rob Zombie bought the rights to James's books, but never did anything with it. So there's another issue I have with Rob Zombie also. But I'm a fan of the House of the Thousand Corpses. Then he changed his whole fucking storyline because he got mad because people talk shit about him. And he changed it to The Devil's Rejects. And it was all right. It was a wannabe natural born killers. We've already seen it once. And then In Hell was all right. It wasn't that bad. 31 was a good movie. Lords of Salem was a disappointment. He could have made it better. But once again, he had to have his wife in it. Two, just like people think, and here's another thing, people think Scream's a good series of movies. They're having them as the top 10 of all time. I'm sorry, the first one was all right. No more. I'm done. I'm done seeing somebody pretend to be ghost faced, and it's somebody else from her past killing somebody else, and then it came out to her dead dad who was from the first murderer became a ghost, and that's the new one. That's the shit that I'm talking about. Terrifier. I know the guy, so that's why I'm still gonna like him. It wasn't the best movie. The first one, they had to make a storyline. But the second one was better. Now the third one's they have a budget of $12-13 million. It's going to be better. Like Jericho's in it, a couple other people who are named. But Marcus appreciates it because he works with low budget, so he'll tell you. Some of the movies that we watch are garbage. Now I want to see Long Legs. That's with Nicolas Cage and the killer. That looks pretty crazy. But some of the new movies they're having, some of the stuff they're remaking, like they're going to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre again in winter.
I loved it.
What?
Long Legs was great. A lot of people hate it, but I loved it.
I hear a lot of good things about it. It was an independent film, made $120 million. I want to see it. But
it's fun. It's slow.
Oh, okay. But it's probably better than the Winnie the Pooh fucking... Did you guys hear about the Winnie the Pooh? They made the second one. The first one was horrible. You think Terrifier was bad, and they're gonna make the Disney Terrorverse or whatever, because they're already making the Bambi movie. They're making Pinocchio and Steamboat Willie because they lost the rights. Disney lost the rights, so they're making a anti-horror movie like Disney universe, kind of like with the Avengers and the multiverse. They're going to do the same thing. They're already bringing out Pinocchio. They're bringing out Bambi. They're already throwing the new Winnie the Pooh movie was garbage. I didn't see part 2. I heard it's better, but the first one was dumb. The second one, they got more money because people like dumb shit, just like the mean one. It's supposed to be the Grinch. It's the same guy who plays the Terrifier. That movie was horrible. But you know what? He got paid a couple $1 million. He's becoming a big name guy now, dude. Like, he's been in a lot of shit, especially with Art the Clown. Art the Clown is our version of Michael Myers in this generation. It's the truth. He's the version of that. That's what it is. It's the new Jason Voorhees. It's the new Michael Myers, because the other shit they're making sucks. Like Smile, I didn't like it. I didn't like Barbarian. I thought it was stupid. There's a couple other movies I didn't really like. Us was all right. It was better than a lot of stuff out there. I was very disappointed in the phone booth or whatever was a guy who was Ethan Hawke. I forget what that movie is, because I don't even remember. He has a mask. That looks cool. It's the one where he's the child killer, and he call him on the phone. He had the weird mask. It just came out like last year. I forget what it was called. Huh? Sorry. Yeah, I didn't like that movie. I don't like some of the new movies, bro. Like, honestly, this is like, people see that's Ash. You see that movie right there was a very low budget movie. Now we could talk about low budget, because he first made this in 1978. A lot of people don't realize this is how I get into how much of an Evil Dead fan I am. 1978, he did a 35-minute short film on 8mm, and you can see it on YouTube, and it's very shitty. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. Yes. Lost in the Woods or something. And it was great. And that's where they got Evil Dead from, guys. And they didn't have a big budget on the original Evil Dead. And Evil Dead became, you see what it is now. The new one just made $165 million. Evil Dead Rising. And that doesn't happen.
That was exactly my point. Is that there's a lot of movies that have low budgets that were phenomenal movies. You know what I mean? Whereas Terrifier, low budget's not an excuse for not having a good plot. There's no storyline to it. It sucks, right? And as far as like the Rob Zombie Halloween, we were talking about that. There's 2 things that make that a great movie. 2 things.
Garbage.
2 things. 1, Michael Myers is actually gigantic and terrifying. He's not some little pipsqueak that I could just bitch slap out of the way, like all of 5 foot or something, right? He's actually a big son of a bitch, and that's what you want a killer to be. Somebody imposing and scary looking. Somebody you'd be like, oh, I wouldn't want to mess with that dude. I like that. I don't like the little tiny Michael Myers. I like a bigger, more imposing Michael Myers. That's the first thing. The second thing, the part that old boy hates, Rob Zombie's smoking hat's wife, Sherry Moon Zombie. That dude, you put her in a movie, I'm gonna fucking watch it. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Even shitty movies that they've done, like Lords of Salem, that wasn't good at all, I'm still gonna watch it because she's absolutely gorgeous and I love her acting. And one more thing I'll say really quickly: The Devil's Rejects, in my opinion, perfect movie. That was an amazing film. You can't tell me that movie wasn't great. Great storyline, great soundtrack, great special effects, great everything. It was funny, it was scary, it was wonderful. It was a great movie. I don't understand why you don't like it. I can understand some of the other ones, right? Although 31 I thought was decent as well. And the first Halloween I liked. Lords of Salem, you're not going to get an argument from me. That's just a weird fucking movie. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
The second Halloween was horrible.
Yeah, the second Halloween wasn't as good. The first Halloween I really liked. The first Rob Zombie Halloween I liked. And simply the main reason I liked it was that Michael Myers was a lot bigger. And to me, I want a bigger, if you're not going to be big, right? Like Jason Voorhees is big and imposing. If you're not going to be big and imposing, then you need to have some sort of supernatural element that makes you frightening. Like Freddy Krueger comes to you in your dreams where you're the weakest and you don't have a chance, and he can make anything happen in your dreams. That gives him like a superpower to make it to where, oh shit, I'm in trouble here. Michael Myers, what's his superpower? He just keeps coming. He just keeps coming at you. You knock him down, he gets back up. He's a fucking weevil wobble? Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It's just like the Child's Play movies, even though I like the Child's Play movies because they're funny, right? But why the fuck would I be afraid of a little 2-foot doll? I'll grab that little bitch, throw him in my wood stove, end of Chucky. You know what I mean? Fuck Chucky. He's nothing. He's not scary at all, but those movies are just funny. They kind of went the other way with it, where they're funny. But to me, that is something that I need in a movie. I need it to be a good storyline, something that I'm actually going to enjoy watching. And I need, it doesn't have to be Oscar-worthy acting, but I need at least decent actors in it. A lot of these low-budget films you see, and the people talk like this while they are doing their lines, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you doing a retarded Christopher Walken? Why are you talking like that? Just fucking talk. You know what I mean? Just talk. You know what the character's supposed to say. You're supposed to say, oh, I was going to go down to the store and get a pizza. Right? So just say, hey, I'm going to go down to the store and get a pizza. You don't have to go, I am going to go down to the store and get a pizza. Because that's how they talk in some of these low-budget fucking films. It's ridiculous. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the old 80s porn. It's the same actors. Maybe not the same people, but the same acting. You know what I mean? It's that same cadence, that same fucking bullshit. I don't like it. You can make a low-budget movie that's good, is my point. And Evil Dead, perfect example of that. Evil Dead is a phenomenal film. Phenomenal. It has some amazing, cool special effects. Even though, and Marcus can speak to this because he's the special effects guy. I would imagine at that time period, that's all physical effects. CGI shit didn't exist yet. Very cool how they did all that stuff, man. I love that old school look.
Can confirm. On that note, I'll let you guys talk. I'll be right back in 5 minutes. Talk about whatever. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, no problem. We'll edit that out. Don't worry. Here's the problem. The new Halloween, the last one was absolutely. You know what? I'll tell you this right now. I actually like the remake, the first one, better than the last Halloween. Halloween Kills was garbage. That movie was embarrassing. I don't. The Undertaker, him pretending he was the Undertaker and killed 40 different people, and then all of a sudden he comes. That now he was taller in that one. The first Halloween they redid, I'm talking about after the remakes, was good. The second one, Halloween Kills. The second was dumb. Halloween Ends was horrible. The ending was fucking dumb, where he convinced he could convince some other guy to help him kill. And I know they're making another Halloween. Unfortunately, I don't know what it's going to be about. I think it's going to be about the mask and what after Halloween or something. I've been seeing they're going to make it. I'm like, the problem I have with Rob Zombie's wife, and she's not, James likes certain women, I don't. And if she's not a horrible, ugly person, she did good. She wasn't the main actor in 310. She actually played a normal person, and she was actually fine. That's why I didn't have a problem with it. And I like the dude who played I'm Not a Fucking Clown. He was a great actor, and I think they could have done something with him. Um, House of a Thousand Corpses was great. It just the way they did it, I liked it. And then they tried to make it like Natural Born Killers in part 2, and part 3 was just low budget. They didn't have the money, but it wasn't that bad. That's just my opinion. I don't care. I'll tell people right this face. Rob Zombie can go grab a bottle of nuts and suck him. I don't care. I don't hate him. I have my opinions on him and what he did with James's stories too. I have my opinions, but you know what? It is what it is. You know, they have their own deal. It isn't my deal. But like Scream, the first one was cool. It was a good idea. The second one, whatever, you're gonna have a second. But after that, it got dumb. It was stupid. And now these movies, people like these dumb fucking movies. It's oh no, it's Sydney's grandfather's great friend, and she had an enemy, and now they're gonna come back for revenge. It was the same dumb shit over, and now it's the daughter of the killer from the first one sees him all the time, and she stopped Sydney, and then they had another one with now they're doing it. It was just stupid. I'm sorry. It doesn't entertain me. Now, Candyman, that was a different kind of story. I liked the remake because they brought him back into it and explained it, and they had a new guy playing it. And I get it; Tony Todd's older, but they ended up showing him at the end, and that was cool. And I actually liked the Candyman movie and the Warlock, just like the Warlock. And I like they made 3 of those, but it never got really popular because back then people were they didn't have the best budget and people acting there. Another one is the Wishmaster movies. Actually, I'm friends with that guy. I have his autograph up here. We met him a couple times. James, he's still gonna do our show. He's just doing Comic Cons and horror cons and stuff like that. He's Andy Delvavoff. He was in the Wishmaster. I'm probably destroying his name, but he's in the first 2 Wishmasters. He's in Toy Soldier, Indiana Jones. He was also Lost. He's the bad guy at the end. He's also in Anaconda. Great actor, great guy. He used to have a brewery I was a part of, and that only so many people are a part. I think it's the 313 Club, and I have one of the things, but he ended up selling his brewery. My number was 65, and part of that club is Jason Voorhees, the guy who plays Jason Voorhees. Kane Halder, Bradley, who plays Pinhead's in it. He's trying to get Tony Todd. I don't know if he ever did, but he has a bunch of other people in those movies. That's in that group, and I'm a part of it. Number 65, and my friend Adrian's involved in it too. He has one. Only certain people got it, but I'm special. I'm old boy. I have connections, but. What I'm saying is a lot of these movies, you have to realize is people are seeing so much shit, they have to go far and above. And I'm not agreeing with it. Just like the Serbian film. So, now, people got to realize the Serbian film, if you actually get the real cut that they bought and remade, and they put it out there, and it's out there, it's actually pretty good. It actually has a good storyline. It's just offensive as hell, but it's showing you what really happens in Serbia. The guy wanted to be shocking in the Serbian film. Unearthed Films bought the rights, and I've actually seen the plots. Me and James have. The dolls and the baby was involved. And if you guys understand what that's about, then you would know if you've seen that movie. That movie is really graphic, and it goes really far. Back in 2007, that was a crazy-ass movie. If you guys need the chance to see that, if you can find it or buy it, you need to see it. But if you get offended very easy, do not watch these movies. Just like the Human Centipede, you know what? Come on. I'd watch. The first one was decent, and then after that, they got the guy was creepy in part 2, but it was stupid. It was fucked up. Don't get me wrong. It was a fucked up movie. And part 2 is even worse. 3, it's just offensive. They got them. It was just offensive, and it was just a racist guy yelling and screaming and acting stupid and recreating the Human Centipede. The second one goes there because it shows you what somebody who wants to kill people can really go, and they show it. The first one was kind of cool because someone's really done that. I've talked to Tom Six. I've tried to get him on the show. He follows me. He just lives in Amsterdam. It's an 18-hour difference. So we would have to figure out a way that we could do the show where it could be like right now we're doing it and it could be 3 o'clock in the morning there. I don't know what their time. I think it's 8 hours. So it's probably not that. It's probably like 4 in the morning. So he can't do the show. And I talked to him a couple times. He knows who we are. I mean, you guys all know who he did. He did a couple other movies that they won't even play because he's gone even farther than that. But those are what he's well known for. Again, I'm an extreme horror fan. I have a lot of movies in my collection. Unearthed Film, Stephen Byro. He is, if you guys can check out his movies, unearthed.com. He actually has I think he has like a streaming service. You like extreme movies that you cannot see or buy, or they're very hard to get, and you can go and check that out. I'll let Marcus tell you when he comes back. Marcus, like I said, he's been in a lot of really controversial movies, and he's made like I said, he made 101 Tears. Love the movie. I wish he would make a second one because guess who wants to play the clown? I don't know. You see him all the time on Staring into the Abyss all the time. Who do you think could play that clown? The younger version. Wonder. But getting to that, I am trying to push a character I'm making on to make it a reality. I have a really fucked up mind, and James, I'm trying to get him to go with me because he's a horror author, and I know he could probably write the story. Because we're cheapskates and we don't like to spend money. So, I'm going to do whatever I can to save money, and I know he doesn't mind it either. Trust me, James could have $1 trillion on him, and he would still bitch about paying $5 for a hamburger. So, and I'm just showing you, but I'm trying to pitch a film idea to Marcus, and like I said, try to get James involved with me because I'm fucked up. And there's something wrong with me, but no, I'm just playing. Only kidding. Only playing, kids.
Yeah, I pitch what? I'm totally lost in the conversation. Okay.
What I was getting to is I was talking about extreme movies, and I was talking about your movie 101 Tears, and you do a lot of controversial movies. And I'm trying to get him back because he had to go to the restroom, guys. And that's what I was talking about. And I told him I was trying to get you to make 102 Tears starring somebody, and he there's other reasons he can't do that, so I'm trying to give him another idea. I'm trying to get James, who's a horror author, to write the story, and that's what now I'm trying to get. Now you guys are trying to see what I'm trying to do. Cheap cheap pops there, but any way to save a buck.
There's a whole lot of reasons there won't be a sequel, but I can't get into them here. So
what I was talking about is I'm trying to get a movie made with these two people, with my character, because we can't make 102 Tears because there's a big reason for that. And if we could have, I would have been maybe the new clown, but he can't do that because there's another reason, and I can't get into it, neither can I know why. But if we could make this movie, because we have a writer right here and a director right here, we can do something, because I have a creepy ass character that I want to be. And it's going to if I do the idea I want, because I think it'd be fucked up. And we have people who will do it. Like I said, remember, low budgets, you're getting what you're paying for with acting. We were just talking about that a couple minutes ago. But I think we could really push some limits. And I think I'd do a decent job, and I'm not trying to blow my own horn. And maybe I'll look horrible. I don't know. But it's just that I think we could do it. And we've already talked about it for years anyway. Some people, you have to realize, have a way of them, and they can step into other dark places that a lot of people can't. And like Heath Ledger, he went too far, and look what happened to him. That doesn't bother me. I'm already a step ahead of him, where it doesn't bother me when doing certain things. Characters too, I can get into. It's not going to fuck my head up, because I know it did to some other people, and I'm not bringing their name into it. But some people, once they do these characters, they never change. Even with Joaquin Phoenix, when he did the Joker, he still kind of is still out there. Some people get the characters and they can't snap back. They becomes a part of them. Some people don't realize they're acting anymore, and that doesn't bother me. Because I've have a lot of crazy shit that's happened in my life, and I think we could. And James has a fucked up mind, and so does Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus.
I was gonna say, we could talk about this further. Make a whole new film. It doesn't have to be in the 100 Tears, world.
No.
My phone just hit 4%, so it's about to die.
Well, go charge your phone for a couple minutes, and we'll bring you back.
It's 11 o'clock here for me, so I got to get up at 6 a.m. So.
Yes, but just so one more thing before you go, Marcus, and we'll finish the show. Is I wasn't talking about doing 100 Tears universe at all. I'm talking about a whole new movie. That's what I was talking.
Talk about a whole new movie. That'd be fun.
Okay, that's what I was talking about.
Different,
I would say I've got a book that I already wrote and published called Call the Wind Spirits. That hasn't been optioned by anybody or anything like that. It's a story of this guy who sneaks into the window of this home and kidnaps this little girl out of her bed, and he chains her up in this cabin. And it's got like the whole undertones of, oh my God, what's he going to do to this girl? Is he going to molest this girl or something like that? You find out later that that's not what's going on at all. But the struggles in the movie is, one, the girl trying to escape and survive. Okay, that's one bit of drama and tension and everything that's happening. And the other is that the police, instead of looking for the guy that actually kidnapped the girl, accused the parents. And then it's all about the struggle of the parents trying to get the police to actually go after the people that really took their little girl when the police are accusing them. It's a really, really good story. I'll send you the book, Marcus, if you're ever interested in it. I'll send you like a PDF of it for free, so you can check it out. But it's an amazing, amazing story. And at the end, it's like a supernatural twist with what's actually going on and everything in the book. It's a very good story. Something like that would be amazing. You know what I mean? Because that would be something you can make low budget, because there's not really any special effects in it. It can all be character acting basically, and the setting is really easy. It's just a family home, a police station, and a cabin in the woods. It doesn't have to be a big budget thing, as long as the story is there, which it is. It's a great story, and you have decent actors doing it. And the one I'm working on now, the Devil's Touch, I'm like 3/4 of the way through that book. That's a pretty amazing story as well. I'm not going to get that out now because I haven't published the book yet, but like on the air or whatever. But that's a pretty spectacular story as well. So there's definitely stuff out there that can be made, and it can be made for a low price. You know what I mean? Like a low budget. That wouldn't have to be a lot of stuff. Like my Legion series would be almost impossible to do low budget, because there's so much in the Legion series, special effect wise, that you've got to have a major studio. You've got to have a ton of money. That's why everybody who's optioned it or wanted it has passed. Ultimately, because it just costs too much to make.
Zombie bought your rights. How much? But he never did anything with it.
Well, he didn't buy the rights. It was just optioned. What option mean is they give you a pile of money, and you're not allowed to sell it to anybody else for however long that is. Usually it's a year, but it's negotiable, the time frame. So basically, they say, here's 10 grand. We want to option this. We want to say that we have the option to make this into a movie within this amount of time. And then what happens a lot of times is they don't ever make the movie. So basically, they just give you money to hold it, not sell it to anybody else. And then when that time period's up, you can sell it to whoever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody attached to it right now. So I could sell it right now if I want to.
Yeah.
It has been optioned before, but the options run out. But it's not like a diabolical, shitty thing that he or anybody else did. It's just that happens in Hollywood. They option your script, and then they don't end up going with it because for whatever reason. And then if for writers, it's great because I just get free money, dude. You just give me money just to not sell it to anybody else, and I don't have to do anything. I just sit there and hang out and get free money. Basically is what it amounts to for me. So I'm not complaining at all. Anybody that wants to option my shit is welcome to option it. You know what I mean? If you want to make a movie, great. You know what I mean? We can definitely talk, and that means more money down the line for me. But if they don't make a movie, that's fine too, because they just gave me a pile of money just to do nothing. You know what I mean? So I just want to clear that up, because old boy, I think, has a grudge against Rob Zombie because of that. But it was a blessing to me. And I never met with Rob personally or anything like that. It's just all done through agents and people that come up and deal with. You know, it's nothing horrible, or it's pretty. Marcus can probably tell you it's pretty standard. That's what they do.
Yeah. Like even the movie Bubba Hotep was Don Coscarelli like bought the rights over and over and over until he could make Bubba Hotep. And Joe Lansdale didn't even think the film was even, or the book was even translatable to film. He's like, he could never make this into a movie. It's so fucked up and so out there, he'll never be able to make this. And then Don Coscarelli made Bubba Hotep with, Bruce Campbell, and it's awesome. So, it happens. I'm down to 1% battery on my phone, so I gotta hang up and charge. So
all right, I just want to say thanks for coming on. We love you, brother, and we'll talk at you again some other time.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, brother, and we'll keep talking about that idea, guys.
All right. Awesome. Have a good night.
I'll talk about this real quick. We were talking earlier about sequels and shit like that. I think that one movie series we have not talked about tonight that I think is absolutely phenomenal, one of the best I've ever seen, in my opinion. And I think the sequel was as good, if not better, than the original, is See No Evil, and See No Evil 2 with Kane from the WWE as the star of that movie. I absolutely love those two movies. I think they are absolutely phenomenal. Great storyline, great movie, great acting, just amazing. Kane as a villain, top notch. Absolutely love those movies. And another movie that my wife absolutely hates, and I just love the hell out of, was a movie called, I think it was called Tusks. Tusk or Tusks. It was it had Justin Long in it, the guy that played in Jeepers Creepers, and a bunch of other movies. And essentially what happens is this guy, he goes to this place and this guy turns him into like a walrus through like plastic surgery. It's a really fucking weird movie, but it is so fun to watch. I love that flick as well. Have you ever seen Tusk, old boy?
It was decent. It was different. I will say that it wasn't horrible. It was just something weird. It was just a weird movie. It was good. It was decent. What's another one? Just so people know, and I don't like talking about it. What's that one Army soldier where Radcliffe is dead the whole time, and the guy's with his dead body? You ever seen that one? That was real weird. Where he just makes weird faces, and he's dead though. I think it's Army Switchblade or something like that. What people don't realize, I'm related to Daniel Radcliffe by marriage from my grandfather. He's a Radcliffe. He's like a third cousin. And I don't say nothing about it because it's not a big deal. I've never met him. And he was in that movie, and that was a weird movie. Yeah, Tusk was weird though. It was cool. It was something different. I like See No Evil 1 was good. The second one is, you could tell they were trying to rush it, and the twins made that movie. They're cool. I've talked to them before on Facebook a long time ago. It was a good movie. He did a good job. The first one, the second one, it was a lower budget film, but it wasn't horrible. It was a decent. It could have been better. I wish they would have made a third one, if you wanted the truth. Actually, like that, the Wrong Turn movies were great, except the remake was dumb. I don't know if you saw the remake. It had nothing to do with the first movies. It was absolutely stupid. I know they're going to remake it again because people are so pissed off about it. Because it was like they made this group of people like it were some kind of cult, and it made no sense. It was just dumb. The new one, it came out like 2 years ago, but the other ones were great. Yeah, I think they're very underrated movies. Another one, they're very gory. Friday the 13th weren't the best movies. They didn't have the best acting. Jason was just a great character. And putting the mask on him after that, that's what made him. The first movie was decent, but the acting's horrible in those movies. Just like Nightmare on Elm Street, if it wasn't for Robert Englund, those movies would be garbage because the kids were horrible. Hellraiser, my personal opinion in the Hellraiser movies, I don't know if you've seen the remake, it was decent, but the Hellraiser movies were great for the movies they were in the 80s. After that, made 10 more after that, and they weren't the best, but the first couple were decent because it was something different. It just, they didn't have the money then, and if you would have had the money, it probably would have been a hell of a lot better. But I like Pinhead, and he's not a tall guy, but he's a demon. And I'm sorry to tell you, if you read the stories of Pinhead, that's just the character he was. I know James likes the Hellraiser stories. I also like the Nightbreed movie, and I think that was a real disappointing. They never did anything other than making a graphic novel after that. The Nightbreed movie was really cool. It was about the monsters that Clive Barker, was about his universe, about the Nightbreed. It was like they could only be at this one place, like the cemetery, and they could, once you became a Nightbreed, you couldn't leave that area. And they had like this guy, it was like a psychologist, and he was really a murderer trying to find the Nightbreed. And that was another cool twist in the movie. So they had a killer in it too. And it was a great movie. If you guys can check that movie out, it's great. That's why I was talking to Marcus. Marcus, you got to realize that when we talk to Marcus, sometimes he gets off and goes on tens. Just the kind of guy he is. We love Marcus, but he's not the best at talking sometimes, and you'll see that. But we love him.
It's either going to be a spectacular show that goes into some crazy ass places, and we talk about some weird shit, and it's just interesting as hell, right? Or it's going to be a complete shit show. You never know what it's going to be with Marcus. This one was kind of a shit show, but the funny thing about this one was he spoiled his own fucking movie. That hasn't even been released yet. He gave the ending out to the movie. I think he had a few too many cervezas before he came on, and that's pretty fucking funny. I don't know what's going to end up being made of this. You know what I mean? As far as how we're going to edit all this together, because we had some technical difficulties in the middle where it completely froze up and I had to restart everything. So I have both sides for the audience that you're listening at home. I have both clips, but I gotta put them together and figure out how we're gonna do that. But there'll be something. This show will be something. I don't know exactly what it will be, but it'll be something. But it's kind of hilarious that he comes on and he gets all excited and starts talking about his movie, and then he completely fucking ruins the surprise ending at the end and just spoils the whole fucking thing. That's brilliant. I think we go ahead and just wrap this thing up since Marcus is gone, and you know what I mean. We're about an hour and 15 minutes, something like that in. So we'll have a good, after edit, we'll have a good hour or something like that show. So I think we just go ahead and do the shout outs and wrap her up and call it a day. You know what I mean? So go ahead, old boy.
This is what's so brilliant about Marcus. He made a fucked up situation hilarious. And that's what, if you guys watch this show, it's going to be hilarious, because he gave a movie out he wasn't supposed to be talking about because he, like I said, he's had a little fuel to drink. And you could see it, guys. And that's why it's hilarious. You got to realize his Hollywood people are different. And what he was talking about was, with me, there is talks about us doing a movie. We're talking about that too. But Marcus is a wonderful guy. He's been working on a movie for a couple weeks now, almost a month now. And he's just been working a lot, so he likes to have a couple beers, and I think he had a little too much, but it was hilarious. It's going to be a good comedy show. Plus, Andy wasn't here either. So you got to remember, we couldn't do a real serious show. I know James wanted to go off about RFK, but next week we could talk about politics, because I know James is going to get into it, but maybe something then's going to work out next week, and something different's going to happen. But that being said, I'm glad you guys follow us on YouTube and Spotify. Just so you know, Marcus is a well-known director and filmmaker and editor and makeup effects, and he does all kinds with Stephen Barrow. Want to give a shout out to him and Unearthed Films. Great guy. He's makes great movies. He's done some really great stuff. He also has his own label company and produces a lot of underground films, but I want to give a shout out to him. Thank you guys, to the fans out there, and hopefully we can get something going. And get something out there. I want to get James in that movie. Then I could actually meet him for once, and we could actually have a reason, because James is going to star in his own damn movie. I don't know what he's going to be, a pizza maker or a fucking the hot dog guy, but we got to do something. We got to get him into that movie, and he will. We'll put World Screwed in the background. That'll be in it too, or staring. But that being said, I hope you guys had a good night. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us. We're Screwed's just starting. Andy will be back, hopefully. And hopefully he feels better. He got sick. You want to get a shout out to him. Just forgot about that. But you guys have a great night, Misfits, Shiglays, Monster Lovers, and Demoners. I fucking love you, and have a good night. And blessed be. And it's almost September, guys.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk about RFK dropping out and joining up with Trump and everything, but it wouldn't make much sense to do that with Marcus. You know what I mean? So I'm actually going to film, after we wrap this up, I'm going to film a separate We're Screwed short video about it. As a matter of fact, old boy, since you're on here with me, if you want to do it with me when we end the show, we can rock that real quick and do a little 15-20 minute deal on that if you want to. You don't have to, it's up to you. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed the show. Marcus did kind of spoil the movie before it even gets released. You know what I mean? Give the ending. So don't tell nobody, all right? Just shh. Don't tell anybody the ending. Let them be surprised. That's fucking crazy. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And we'll catch you on the next one. Till we speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.